Let's talk about integration of earth energy. So, earth energy is very grounded, but it can also manifest as being low vibrational because the closer we get to the earth, the denser the energy becomes. I won't say that frequencies are always useful when thinking about our emotions or our consciousness. Like sometimes it can be problematic to kind of give a hierarchy to stuff like that. Because like if we think of dense energy and we think it's negative, then when we're in dense energy, we'll have trouble alchemizing it. You know what I mean? Like if we think like, oh, the earth is hell, and there's some things about Gnosticism that I really resonate with, and then some things that I think have been misinterpreted and disseminated in a harmful way. But I say all that to say this: integrating earth energy, which has been one of the greatest arcs of my life, like I'm a Virgo, I love earth energy, is about confronting not only our physical earth, but also confronting the things that we value and the things that support us. So earth as a goddess is a part of some like neo witchcraft and some pagan cosmologies, and then earth as the paradigm through which we see God is also present in a lot of indigenous theology and cosmologies. And then there's also things like the goddess Venus, who is the goddess of things that we value and things that are tangible and things that are beautiful and abundant. And so, you know, I'm working right now on this Empress workshop that's coming up, and grateful to my friend Habib, who pointed out that the date on the Eventbrite was incorrect. So that's been corrected now. So if you think you missed it, you didn't. And I've been really practicing embodying the Empress energy. I noticed like right before I got this job, which like I love this job. I'm so grateful. Everything about it is very Empress. The spell fucking worked. And I'm kind of moving through some of the blockages that I had around the Empress and examining the shadow of it as a part of this journey through, you know, there's a time before you do the spell, there's a time during you're doing the spell, and there's a time after, right? And normally the after time is like the careful what you wish for time. And I'm noticing that the Empress is such a powerful vessel for medicine around how we relate to the earth and the things that we value, because we are being confronted with the shadow, like on a global scale, the shadow of the Empress, which is consumerism and being so addicted to luxury that we will not operate within community. We won't accept or give community support. We contribute to very destructive patterns. And of course, right now, I mean, it's difficult to blame anyone for isolating, right? That's like not the world that we're living in right now, where I can be like, oh, you should be in community, because for some people it's still very dangerous and we're all very traumatized. So I'm not trying to like should anyone. I'm just talking about like the energy of the globe, right? We all have a personal responsibility to care for ourselves and to live the way that we want to live despite any obstacles that are in our way. But those are things that take like years to work through and a lot of support, and nobody can do it alone. And the thing about the Empress is that we can kind of get caught up in the fact that it's this archetypical energy in which someone has everything that they need, and she's luxurious, and she's like probably pregnant and so fertile and covered in fruits on her dress. Like, it reminds me of that. There was this viral dress when I was getting into TikTok that like everybody wanted this beautiful strawberry dress. It was a pink dress with red strawberries on it. It was like super flowy. There were really expensive versions. There were really cheap versions. But when I was going through and unpacking the occult, because there's like a section in the workshop about the occult symbolism in the Empress, in the original Smith Empress card, and that dress with pomegranates on it is that. And I was thinking about this strawberry dress and how it so like illustrates how trying to embody Empress energy can go so wrong, because we start looking at other people that have what we don't have, and we want to acquire it, not just because we like it and it brings us pleasure. Because if we really loved strawberries on a pink dress, you know, there are other ways to source that other than like fast fashion or going into debt or being a part of the trend, right? And that's an energy for another day, right? There's a time and place for trendiness, but the Empress is not trendy. The Empress is embodied and secure and something that is durational and that lasts throughout our life. And so when we're not grounded in Empress energy, we come off with this toxic Empress stuff, which is, you know, this blind consumerism and wanting to have what other people have without being able to look within and realize that it's all provided to us. Part of that process is grief, because the biggest blockage that we have to abundance in our culture is not our mindset. Our mindset is easy to shift, actually. It's quite simple. The biggest blockage is not our mindset. It is accessibility. It is our economy. It is neo-feudalism. It is the patriarchy. It is propaganda. It is marketing. And the unfortunate thing is that when we aren't doing our Empress work, like quote unquote, we become programmed by the programming and then become perpetrators of the problem, right? Which is true for all of these archetypical algorithms like white supremacy, patriarchy, capitalism, which all have their own cards in the major arcana, by the way, which we can go through, right? The way that we do the work within helps reveal how we can grieve for the injustice of inaccessibility in our world, right? And then also take action in our heart and in our lives so that we can feel supported and abundant, right? Mindset work cannot fix everything, but it can reveal pathways in your life to the solution. And then from there, you have to do the work, right? So that's a little tip about integrating Empress energy. A long rant, right? So I'm going to give you a meditation that can help you kind of work energetically with this, because of course there's a lot of things that you can do that are intellectual, right? Like you can change your mindset. You can change your mind about change your mindset and change your mind is the same thing. Like shift your consciousness, blah, blah, blah. But there's also a piece of this that is like living in your body, okay? So if you have an Empress card available to you, or if you want to print it out, or if you want to put it on your phone, whatever you need to do to get access to an Empress card, put it on your chest in the middle, right? You can either lay down on the floor, on your bed. I like to be laying down. You can also do it seated if you need to. Put it on your chest. And as you breathe in, you embody your Empress. And then as you breathe out, you sink into the earth. So you breathe in and you feel the Empress energy in your heart. And then you breathe out and you sink more deeply into the earth. And doing this meditation for as long as feels comfortable for you. I would put a timer on for 10 minutes if I had the space and time. If I don't have the space and time, I can do like 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes. 20 minutes if you're really about that life, because it is soothing and maybe you'll fall asleep, and that'll be nice to take rest, because Empress is also the card of rest, which we'll talk about next time. And this will help you alchemize, like, how can you in your body and in your heart actually believe that abundance is there for you and that you can have access to it and that you do deserve access to it. And things will start shifting in your life when you start to work with that energy regularly. Everyone says that they want to be an Empress, but you realize that Empress is the leader of an empire. That's not easy work. Running an empire is not easy work, right? And the unfortunate thing is that when we think of feminine and we think of relaxation and rest and all of that, we diminish the energy, because we live in a patriarchal paradigm that sees feminine as lesser. But it's not any less work to be an empress than it is to be an emperor, right? And in some cases, because we live in an emperor paradigm and we're trying to channel empress energy, it can actually be harder because we don't want to let go of our pain and our fear and our grief enough to process it. We want to hang on to it and say, well, I don't have this, I can't get that. Like, I have all of these problems and all these responsibilities, and there's no way that I can rest, and there's no way that I can integrate. Like, I'm just too overwhelmed. And it's true, but that kind of mindset is not going to get you any closer to healing. And understanding that you have a right to healing starts with tiny little meditations and tiny little connections with the people in your life and with communities that are going to support and facilitate and care for us and care for each other, right? You know, I always get to the end of a video and I never know if it made any sense because I kind of just blacked out. Okay, I'll talk to y'all next time. Bye.